Hi, my name is Beth Azor, and I own shopping centers in South Florida. And this is my podcast, I Own a Shopping Center, Now What? So last week, I talked to you all about the cigar slash smokehouse or smoke shop prospect. And I told you about a story, or I mentioned a story that I would fill you in on the details this week. So here's the story. I'm leasing a shopping center and I get a call from a pet shop. And the pet shop said they wanted 3,000 square feet. I was very excited. And they said they had another location. So we set the showing for Monday. And this was probably like Thursday or Friday. So over the weekend, I went to check out the other location, which all of your leasing agents or the people who lease your properties, and you should do. Even if you have a third-party broker, if you're on the phone with them, maybe they're updating you in activity, you can ask them, how often do you go see the tenant spaces before you show space to them? Or at the very least, let's say you're negotiating an LOI, let's say you have a third-party broker or you have a leasing agent that works for you and you're negotiating the LOI, certainly by that time they have visited the other location. So back to the story. So I drive up, it's Saturday, and I drive up to go check out this, 3,000 square foot pet store. And so you can imagine 3,000 square feet, if it's 60 feet of depth, it is 50 feet, right, of frontage. So 50 feet of frontage, 60 feet of depth. In the window, across the 50 feet of frontage, was a 3-foot tall sign. So 3 feet times 50 feet. I'm trying to exaggerate so you guys can get the picture here of a big sign that says in bold black letters, "We buy rats." We buy rats. So I really didn't understand that, but I learned that he buys rats because they had snakes. And it was more of a snake pet store than what I had envisioned, puppies and kitties and gerbils or whatever. So I did not want a snake store in my shopping center at the time. I certainly didn't want a store that had a huge sign on that says "We buy rats." So I canceled the meeting. And again, I know that some of you who have shopping centers that you've bought for $50 a square foot and have 80% of vacancy, you're probably okay with it, with a "We buy rats," especially if you can lease to 3,000 square foot tenants. But for me, I was not interested in that. I was leasing a center in an upscale neighborhood with high disposable income and a little higher end tenants. So I wasn't the leasing agent who was okay if the prospect breathed in a mirror, I was going to sign a lease with them. So I do understand that some of you are hearing this story and saying, I would have taken the "We buy rats" 3,000 square foot guy. I understand that. But if you have a shopping center where you have more upscale tenants, that was not the prospect that I wanted to have in my center. But the moral of the story is you or the leasing agent or your third-party broker should always go and check out the other location. Because, you may find there's so many important things you could find out. You could find out that they don't have merchandise. You could find out that you love the store and it's just packed with merchandise. You could find out that they have no parking and that's the reason they're coming to your property, because you have lots of parking. You could find out that they have all their ceiling tiles are stained and that means they have roof leaks and that's why they're moving. There's so much information you can gather when you go see the tenant that it's a crucial part of leasing, and I highly recommend that you do it or you require your leasing agents and your third-party brokers to do it. Okay, have a great day, and next week we will see you again. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends or on social media and push the like button and subscribe. Thanks.